All right. I think now the mics are on. 9:58 this morning. Hi. Anita joins this morning. Ron is off.
Ron was smart.
He took the day off.
Do you know that 26 million people won't be at work today because of the Super Bowl?
Oh, my goodness.
Not all of them are calling out.
Some of them are ghosting their jobs, apparently, according to a new study.
Can you ghost your job? How do you ghost your job?
I'm not entirely sure. I thought that was kind of a wild idea.
I did too.
We do have plenty of you kind of waiting for the stream to begin. Thank you. Let us know where you're watching from. And we're so glad you're with us this morning as well. We have some big headlines coming up, of course. The latest on Nancy Guthrie. Of course, we're talking Super Bowl, whether or not you watched and what you watched. Maybe you watched the Turning Point halftime show as well. And so we'll chat about that in just 1 minute's time. And so we'll see you in just a brief moment.
That was great. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome on into Fox 10 Talks. And we're so glad you're joining us and sharing part of your day. We have a lot of big headlines to get to. Anita joins as well.
Good morning. Thank you. Filling in for Ron. It's very difficult to fill his seat.
Yes.
I'm going to do my best.
You're going to do amazing.
Thank you.
I know it.
Thank you.
One of our biggest stories, of course, we have a couple of things that we're talking about this morning. And share with us in the chat if you can. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Did you watch the Super Bowl halftime show, the Turning Point USA halftime show? Or maybe you were just there for the snacks. I don't know.
The commercials.
Or
maybe you didn't watch it all.
Exactly. We'll be chatting about that this morning. We have a really important guest coming up a little bit later as well, talking about cardiovascular health, which is really important.
Heart Health Month, right? American Heart Month on February, which affects men and women, but you'd be surprised how many women are affected by it.
Absolutely. I think as women, sometimes we're so busy taking care of other people, we forget to take care of ourselves. Yeah. But we are going to start with our big story, of course, the search for Nancy Guthrie. Irene Snyder has been live in southern Arizona in Tucson and this morning and most of last week as well. So let's get right to her this morning. Irene, thank you for joining us and for hanging out, for Fox 10 Talks this morning. What can you share with us this morning in terms of what you've seen there in the neighborhood and the latest in the search?
Good morning, guys. Well, yeah, we don't have a whole lot more information today as opposed to over the weekend, but out here in front of the house, this is where 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie lives. She is, of course, the mother of the Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie. So in front of her house, there is some law enforcement out here this morning. One of the sheriff's trucks is out in front of her home in the Catalina foothills. That is just outside Tucson. For some of you familiar with the area, there's also a sign the many neighbors put out here with some flowers and candles saying thoughts and prayers for the family, saying that they stand with the Guthrie family. And today also is reported to be the second deadline with a cryptic ransom letter. For that ransom letter, they're demanding money in exchange for the safe return of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. So that's some of the new information, or at least some of the updates that we have for this morning. The Fox flight team also capturing some video. You could see over the weekend there were also some sheriff's trucks that were out there in front of Nancy Guthrie's home. Again, they kind of been coming and going here over the past several days. Investigators keep returning. In some cases, they've been taping off the street. Other cases, opening it back up to the public and to media, then taping it off again. The constant back and forth, neighbors say, it's led them questioning exactly how this investigation is being handled. But the Pima County Sheriff has acknowledged this, saying the initial return was due to the FBI coming into this investigation and assisting with it here.
what happened over the weekend. So we got word of this second ransom note. I think it was late Friday. Limited information, as it should be, what is in that note. On Saturday, Nancy Guthrie's children released a second video. Talk a little bit about what was in that. But the other controversy that has come out over the weekend was that the sheriff of Pima County, Christianos, was attended a NAU basketball game. Some people saying maybe he needed to go to the game. He has a life. It's a weekend. He needed to step away for a second. It's hard to cover. It's hard to investigate. And other people saying you're in the middle of a massive investigation, disappearance of an 84-year-old woman. You shouldn't have been at this game. What are you hearing out there?
Well, as far as neighbors, we're not hearing a lot from neighbors out here at Anita and Celeste. Most of them have been walking their dog. I think a lot of them have stopped, and left some things for the family. At this point, they've been speaking with media and investigators for the past week. So we're not really hearing a lot of reaction from them today. But as far as the Guthrie family releasing that second video, we, of course, had the first video released last week. Many of them in tears. Savannah with her two older siblings, her brother and her sister, pleading to bring their mother home. And in the second video, they did say one of the big quotes that we took out from there is "we will pay," saying that they'll pay something, of course, to get their mother home. There also is a reward out there for anyone giving information leading to her return. So, definitely a lot of tears, a lot of emotion shared in that video. So it's heartbreaking to see, just seeing neighbors out here and talking to them off camera. They're heartbroken for the family, too. And again, they just keep leaving, some notes out here. They've been leaving signs and leaving flowers out here for the family over the past week.
Irene, the video, and I'm glad you mentioned it, that we just popped up is of the authorities looking into some sort of area behind her home. And are there any signs? We have a question in our chat from Linda Monterth. She says, Irene, any signs that Nancy is still alive? I know it's kind of a bold question, and it's tough to make that, to answer that question right now. But I know sometimes, when you're out in the field, maybe you may hear things, or reporters are talking about things and, with one another. And what are your thoughts on that? And I know that everyone is hoping, of course, we find her alive.
Well, of course, we're all hoping, and praying that Nancy Guthrie is found alive. She's 84 years old, and one of the scary things about this is, of course, she was taken from her home, and she has some medicine, the family has said, that she relies on that was left here at the home. She also has a pacemaker that was connected to her phone. They kind of laid out for us over the last week the timeline of that. She was last seen around 9:45 on Saturday, and then in the middle of the night, the garage door opened, and then her pacemaker, which was connected to her phone, was cut off from the app on her phone. So that's something that's concerning that, a lot of people are thinking of too. How long can she rely, how long can she live without that medication? Because the family has described it as being, life-saving medication that she needs to take daily. So, I can't speak as far as speculation whether or not she is alive, but that is one of the concerns a lot of people are having out here, that, even if, her captors have, kept her as well as they could, to speak in some speculation there. But she doesn't have her medication, so even if they've, haven't done any harm, any other physical harm to her other than what was been done here with that blood that we saw outside of the home, again, she has been without her medication. So that's a big thing people are speaking about.
Very quickly, I misspoke. I apologize. I said NAU. I did mean U of A. It came out that way. But we're talking about this ransom, and the deadline is 5 p.m. Is that Eastern time? Because I've heard both. Eastern time, not Arizona time?
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. Irene, have you heard out in the field, is it Eastern time or Arizona time?
That I'm not sure. I'll have to check back with that one for you guys. It is 5 p.m., but I'll have to double check. I mean, it was announced from the sheriff's department, so part of me would assume it would be Mountain Standard Time, but I'll make sure to check back on that for you guys.
So they're asking for $6 million in Bitcoin, and the other big thing a lot of people are talking about is Bitcoin traceable?
There are a lot of people who are saying, yes, it is. And so it's surprising that that is something they would ask. Irene, thank you so much for your time this morning and for hanging out with us on Fox 10 Talks. We appreciate it. Have a safe drive home.
Thank you. You guys too.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you, Irene. You know, it has been quite the ordeal. 9 days that she has been missing. Let me throw this image up if we can. Very, very close. The family is very close. 9 days she's been missing, and I think a lot of people are considering whether or not there was many different theories have been floating around in terms of where she could be, who she could be with, whether or not it's in the United States or elsewhere. And for sure, I believe someone in the chat mentioned this as well. Yes, there is a lot of information that the authorities are not sharing with us on purpose.
And you hope so, because this is information that they keep as tightly as they can, because perhaps this is information that only a suspect or suspects would know.
Yes.
And so when it comes time to perhaps charge this person or people, I would imagine that is the information that they would use. TMZ, I know we work closely with them and Harvey, and I saw him on a couple of different network Fox shows in the evening Friday, and they were one of the first outlets to receive a ransom note. And so he was reading the second note and talking a little bit about what his theory was, and he drew this circle. I don't know if you saw it.
I saw it. It was around the southwest portion of the United States.
Because I guess the second ransom note talked a little bit about how long it would take them to get Nancy back. And so Harvey was talking a little bit about if she's here, how long, and his guess is she's very close, if not in that Tucson area.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's, the FBI, the personnel that's based here in Phoenix. We've had him in studio before, and you've seen him on the air at the press conferences. He said, they have personnel that are working with the ransom note, analyzing it, looking at whether or not this could potentially be someone, they were talking about family ties, close friends. They're not entirely sure. We do have a little bit of information here coming from the authorities, and with the latest on this, let's listen to this right here.
We're especially concerned that nothing has turned up yet. That doesn't mean that there's really any lack of effort. We it's not shared, so we have virtually no knowledge of what's really going on.
They're not going to just disclose facts or where they stand in the investigation, because it jeopardizes the case. It's not unusual for crime scenes to be released and then redeclared a crime scene. But here's the thing: is that period of time in between where it's no longer a crime scene, somebody could go in and plant evidence or remove evidence. It makes it more difficult to, when you find something new, to be introduced into an eventual case, because you don't have control of the crime scene throughout.
It's very unusual, right? You've probably seen some of those billboards. If you're watching from around the world, welcome to Fox 10 Talks. We're based in Phoenix, Arizona, but we cover the entire state and the nation and the world, in fact. But one of the comments says the world is mine's, possible cartel involvement. That is also one of the theories that have been floating around. And hopefully we get just a tad more information soon, because then you have, at least you have the facts, you don't have as many conspiracy theories.
There are so many floating around now on social media.
Yeah. It has been wild. Let's go ahead and play something. Of course, we're coming to you on a Monday now. And yesterday and over the weekend, there was community members, friends, and family gathering at a vigil.
Yeah, so she actually attends a Presbyterian church, a congregation at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Tucson, and they were praying for her safe return yesterday. She is a longtime member. And it was one of the members who noticed she didn't show up to Mass last Sunday, alerted the family members, and then the family members went and did a wellness check, and that is when they realized she's missing, and they called 911. So this is the pastor who was speaking yesterday.
Lord God, bless and guide the authorities in their search for Nancy. Give them wisdom along every step of the path to her. Lord, we ask that you would soften the hearts of those who are responsible, that they might come forward and do what is humane and what is right. We pray for Nancy's rescue. We pray for her release. We pray that she would be brought safely home.
And so that was a quick glance there, what took place at Mass yesterday. A quick timeline, Anita, we can kind of remind everyone is right before we go to break. It was Saturday night. Her family took her home. Middle of the night is when she was taken. Then, as you mentioned, she didn't show up for church. And, of course, we'll be following the latest for you. We'll bring you new information as we receive it. And we'll revisit this in just a few moments as well. But for right now, we are going to go to a quick break as we have to. And we are going to show you this morning also your mystery camera, which is right here. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. You are looking live at your mystery camera this morning, brought to us by Total Traffic and Weather Network.
There we go. We have a sponsor now. That is exciting. Celeste, is that snow that you're seeing?
Oh, I think you're right. I think it could potentially be. We do have a few guesses in the chat. Thomas Brown says Pennsylvania. We have Darla Nickel, 93. Good morning, friend.
Hey, Darla.
She says Florida or Cali. B. Miguel says Minnesota. What do you think?
Well, I think Minnesota would have more snow, but maybe like I don't think Idaho has that big of a skyline. This is tough. Maybe Spokane? I don't know.
Eastern Washington.
I am not good with this game.
Let's see.
Dave is laughing at me.
Yes.
Dave thinks it's funny that I'm dumb.
I'm not good at this game either.
Big D.
We have to give you a quick shout
Dave,
out.
do you want to guess?
I have no idea. It's such a hard game.
I got a D in geography my freshman year, people.
Okay, let's give you another look here. I'm going to go with, Boston, Mass.
Yes.
I'm going to go with Boston. I'll go with Massachusetts.
That's a really good guess. I just cheated, so I can't guess.
Okay.
I looked.
Oh, you already looked. Oh, okay. So Massachusetts is a good guess.
That's a good guess. Okay. We have New York. We have Detroit. I'm winking at Celeste. Any other guesses out there, folks?
Okay, let's see. Detroit from Darla Nickel. And then let's see. Oh, Sammy G, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. If you're new to the chat, let us know where you're watching from this morning. We do have a doctor coming up talking about heart health this morning. So we're looking forward to chatting with her in just a second. But let's go for it, Anita.
Drum roll, please.
Let's
Dave,
see.
nice and loud back there since you're playing. Boston.
Nice.
Boston.
All right, let's give you
Who
another
guessed
quick
Boston?
look. It was
Marissa. Good job, lady.
Marissa Mendoza.
Hey.
Okay, we are talking about heart health this morning, and we have a very special guest. Here is the situation. We have this morning, of course, this is something, it's February, Anita, and it is
Heart Health Month.
Heart Health Month.
Yeah.
And, we want to make sure that everyone stays very healthy on this very important month. And we have a very special doctor here. If you have any questions for our doctor, go ahead and throw them into the chat this morning. We do have some information coming to you this morning. I'm looking for... Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Dr. Maedeh Kholghi joins us this morning. Doctor, good morning to you. Thank you for your time.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Can you share, when we look at Heart Health Month and the issue of cardiovascular health, do women or men suffer from it about the same, or is it more prevalent in men or women?
So actually, it is, as you all know, the leading cause of death is heart disease in both men and women. But only 45% of the women actually attribute heart disease as their leading cause of death. So even though it is leading for both genders, there is definitely an awareness gap when it comes to women and heart disease. And there are also risk factors in women that are unique to females, basically pregnancy, menopause, all those hormonal changes that can affect women uniquely. And there's a gap in knowledge about that and awareness about that when it comes to a woman and heart disease and how they're facing it versus men and heart disease.
So if you maintain a healthy diet, a regular exercise routine, but still have issues with your heart, would genetics play a role in that?
Yes, definitely. Genetics play a role in that. And also when it comes to females, I mean, they have to go through a lot of hormonal changes throughout their life, like pregnancy, postpartum, perimenopausal. All those are really big, significant hormonal changes that affect women uniquely. So yeah, genetics and also gender plays a big role.
You know, some of the numbers that are out there, according to the American Heart Association, cardiovascular disease claims the lives of 1 in 3 women, when nearly 45% of women over the age of 20 are living with some form of cardiovascular disease. Wow. That's a staggering statistic. Doctor, what can we do as women to prevent cardiovascular disease, or if we think we may have something wrong, what's the first thing we should do?
Definitely get tested early on. I mean, get tested, get seen by a doctor early on. Family history really plays a big part. So if you have a family history of somebody that has heart disease, premature heart disease, to have high cholesterol, diabetes, high blood pressure, definitely need to be screened earlier than other population. And also, if you have gone through pregnancy and you had preeclampsia or gestational diabetes, you're at a higher risk of having heart disease earlier on too. So you definitely need to be screened early and get tested and prevent risk factors basically early on.
Let's say we don't know about these risk factors. We're not aware necessarily, and we feel like we're healthy. What are some signs and symptoms that people feel or experience where that's a little bit of an alarm and a little red flag saying, I think I better make an appointment and I think I better get that screening?
Sure. So I always say to my patient, men are typically present how you see them on TV presenting when they're having heart issues. They're having chest pain right in the center of their heart, and then it just radiates to their jaw, to their arm, and they know they're having a heart issue. Women present really differently. Sometimes people don't really have any chest pain at all. They can have just toothache, neck pain, or just not feeling well, feeling fatigue, having palpitations, shortness of breath. Those are all other signs that could be the heart. My biggest advice to women is don't ignore those signs. A lot of times we attribute those to anxiety and stress, so they do tend to ignore it until it's too late. Knowing that the women present differently and they should be seen when they see even those signs.
In this day and age, we all have a lot of stress and anxiety too.
Yeah,
you just never know.
That is true. You mentioned the pain in your chest. Is it the middle, the right, the left, or does it radiate throughout the chest?
So it usually starts from the middle, but can radiate throughout the chest and then go into the left arm, to the jaw, to the neck, and also sometimes to the back. And then the typical signs of a heart attack is when you're having those pains, but also can sometimes have sweating, just feeling like you're sweating a lot, nauseous, vomiting. So you can even get like GI upset and then a feeling that this is more your abdomen rather than your heart, but it is actually your heart.
Wow. Those are
scary.
It can be very, very scary. Dr. Kholghi, thank you so much for your time this morning. And we appreciate kind of the reminder and keeping us healthy so that we can take care of our cardiovascular health. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. We are talking about the power of positivity this morning as well. Anita, I know you're an optimist, as I am as well. So I thought this might be a good idea to chat about. It is something you can change, in fact. So let's say you woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
It happens.
Right?
Probably not a lot for both of us.
I mean,
we're tired, but but we still wake up thinking, amen, I'm alive.
Right. I woke up.
Yes.
That's the first thing.
Number one.
Okay. So if you tend to wake up on the crabby side, though, research shows you may want to work on that. So here is why. It indicates that people who engage in optimistic thinking have better sleep, stronger cardiovascular system. We were just talking about that with cardiovascular health with Dr. Kholghi, and more resilient to stress. Health experts say being an optimist doesn't mean you never consider the negative of the situation. It's more so that you can move past it.
I think that I like to say, turn that stinking thinking around.
Yes.
It can be challenging for some people because I feel like they're pessimists and our bodies are naturally wired to scan for potential threats. So experts say you can, as you mentioned, train your brain to be more positive, be more mindful, take that pause throughout the day, recognize when something good happens. And this helps your brain in the future recognize and identify when those positive things happen.
Absolutely.
So always look for the good, right? I mean, yes, the bad can happen. We can get in a sour mood and we might get a little bit down, but always look for the silver lining.
Absolutely.
Right? Avoid using phrases like, always or never, like I'm never picked, or it's always this, or it's always that. Revisit tough times. Remember how you got through it. Celebrate the small wins. I shared with you when you shared this story this morning in the Celeste story of the day. I read, it was just over the weekend, and I almost posted it in my story, and it said, if you have a negative thought, try to replace it immediately with 3 positive thoughts.
Yes.
And start every day by saying it's going to be a great day. Even if you're not feeling it, even if, you're going to have a doctor's appointment, you're going to be working late, or just, it's going to be a great day. You have to.
And there was something about, for those of you who have kiddos, I remember a mom told me once when my kids were little, and it was like, the days are, I know they say the days are long and the years are short. But when you're like, I remember there were days where you're just like, oh, brother, I got to drive here and I got to drive there and I got to pick them up from school. And she looked at me and she says, but you get to do it because so then now, and all these years later, I still remember that. So I get to pick my kids up from school.
It just literally it's one word.
Yep.
Have or get.
Yes.
And that changing the word out in that sentence
changes everything.
Yes.
Changes the entire mindset.
It changes exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
If you guys want to put in the chat, you want Anita and I to dissect what your morning is?
We will be your positive coaches. And I do, the first thing when I wake up, I put out a prayer on my stories.
Right.
And then I try to do a positive note, not just because I feel like people who are out there watching my stories need it. I need it.
Yeah.
I want that reminder as well. And when I have time in the morning, I'll sit down and that's how I do my prayer. I'll do a Bible reading, and then I sit down and the first words out of my mouth are, dear God, thank you for today.
Yeah, thank you for getting me out of bed.
Yeah.
It's like that perfect small quiet time that you have first thing in the morning. In a busy household, it's like waking up and you have that little piece of moment of peace. To get your reading in, to get your coffee, and then you're like, okay, I can tackle the day. Let's talk about this story really fast before we go to break, and then I'm going to throw up the poll question for you as well. So we are talking about today's Monday, the day after Super Bowl, and lots of people called in sick, believe it or not. I know, you're like, yeah, we know this.
Tell them how many, Celeste.
But according to a company that researches post-Super Bowl work attendance, it expects more than 26 million people will miss work today. 26 million. half will use a pre-approved day off, like the Hooner.
I was going to say, hello, Ron.
Yeah, that's where Ron is at home. More than 3 million, though, will call in sick. And get this, more than 1.5 million will just ghost their jobs.
I don't understand what that means.
Like they just won't call nothing. And we'll talk about that after the break. But I do want to show you here our poll question this morning. And it's about the halftime show. Do you agree with Trump saying the halftime show was a slap in the face to our country? Go ahead and vote with this poll. We also have the YouTube poll. I'm going to throw them both up real quick. And then you'll have a few moments to also share your thoughts with this. And then, Anita, we're going to chat about ghosting.
Okay.
Go into the details of both of these polls. There again is that poll question. You can scan the QR code on your screen, share your thoughts. Dave will have the comments as well coming from YouTube in just a brief moment, but we'll see you after a quick break, my friend. All right, welcome back, everyone. You've been looking at one beautiful city somewhere in the United States. We have recently added, you see a couple of islands
I was going to say
there.
islands and mountains to the right.
What do you think, Anita?
This is in the Pacific Northwest.
You think?
Uh-huh. But guess what? I don't play this game very well.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I
was
we
going
were
to say
just
Hawaii.
in Honolulu.
I was going to say Hawaii.
I was there for my birthday.
Yeah. Happy belated.
Thanks. My hubby took me. We did some amazing hiking, probably on that big mountain that you see right there to your right.
Yes. You probably hiked to the top.
Yes. On these crazy, treacherous stairs.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. We do have a really important interview to get to, covering one of our biggest stories, of course, around Arizona, the United States, and the world.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Nancy Guthrie and the case. Of course, she's been missing now for 9 days, and the search for her as well. And there are a lot of different things happening. The FBI is now involved in this search. And let me go ahead and pull up some of this video, because the newest thing that we have are authorities checking a septic tank in the back of her property. We do have a very special guest here with us this morning to hopefully shed a little bit of light on this. We have Lance Leising. Lance, good morning to you.
Hi, Lance. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You have worked for over 30 years in crisis management, physical security, investigations, legal implications, and you're currently the vice president of physical security for Site Metric. What can you tell us about? Can you give us any insight in terms of why they may be searching that septic tank behind her home?
Sure. Well, before my previous job, I was an FBI agent for 23 years, and I ran the FBI Phoenix's Violent Crime Task Force. So we dealt with cases like this, not exactly like this. This is a very unique case, very rare. So going back to the septic. So there are a couple things here. One, they're going back to the scene of the crime multiple times. That's not ideal in a case, but it does happen. It's not unheard of. It's an evolving case. Different tips will lead you to different things, and you may have thought you covered everything at the scene and then have to go back again. It would have been better if they probably would have maintained and held on to that scene the entire time, expecting something like this. But the fact that they're back there just means they have a lead or a tip, or they realized there was something else they needed to do that they didn't do the first time. The septic search that you see, or at least from the video that I've seen here, it's not a detailed search. If you're really searching a septic tank or system, you're doing more than just with a stick. You're likely digging that whole system up and searching that whole thing. And I've been involved in a few of those cases. You would see a lot more activity at that scene than just somebody at the septic. But they are looking in there, and probably because they didn't check it the first time, and they're checking it now.
What would they be checking it for? I mean, with your years of experience in the FBI, why would one lift the lid to the septic and start digging around in there? Why would they dig it up? Potential evidence, a potential body? What could potentially be down in that septic?
Definitely potential evidence. So that's what they would be looking there for. So whenever you flush a toilet or anything, it's going into that septic system. Flushing evidence at a scene is not unheard of from somebody at crime. So like, let's say they used gloves in there, they were trying to get rid of them or something like that. It wouldn't be smart of them, but they could have potentially flushed something. So maybe they're looking for something, evidence like that, something less than a body. But a septic tank is somewhere you would look for a body. In the way they're doing it now, they're just peripherally searching that septic system and not really thoroughly searching it. I would expect bulldozers and heavy equipment out there if they're doing a full search.
You know, something as well, have you seen, and I'm glad you mentioned that you'd worked with the FBI for so long, is it normal to have some of the frustrations of the neighbors there in the neighborhood is that the crime tape goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. Once I can understand with the FBI then getting involved and saying we need to search, but is that typically something that you may see at a scene if you have so many different agencies involved?
I've definitely seen it in the past, so it's not unheard of. It's not ideal, though. You don't want that. Like I was saying before, it would have been best if they would have just maintained this possession of this crime scene indefinitely, and they probably could have. I don't think anybody else lives there. The family probably would have been okay with them maintaining that crime scene. It would have involved resources. They would have had to have somebody out there to maintain the security of it, but they probably should have kept it that way. That's from an outsider looking in, I would think that. But going back to a crime scene, I've done it multiple times in my case. I did it once for a bank robbery case where we searched the residence twice and did not find the stash of money. But eventually we got a tip that identified where it was, and it was in a location we wouldn't have traditionally searched. So we went back a third time and we found it. So it does happen. It's an evolving case. They're going to go with where the tips that lead them, and they likely got a tip that brought them back.
Monday morning quarterbacking, right? We all look back and say we should have, we could have. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what you see them doing correct that could lead to the recovery of Mrs. Guthrie, but also talk a little bit about these messages that the family is putting out. It does seem like, especially in the second one, if you have seen it, somewhat cryptic, and it does look like they are talking directly to someone, answering some type of note question that we don't have all that information to. Does that make sense?
It makes tons of sense. So let me try to answer both the questions. So as far as what they're doing right, I see a lot of what they're doing right. I see diligent, objective investigators taking everything seriously and going down every path, bringing in multiple agencies as experts. That's absolutely correct. Working in a task force setting with those agencies, as long as it's an organized investigation, that's correct. So all those are right. The ransom notes. Now, we need to look at those ransom notes as one facet to a very complex investigation. From what I'm seeing in the family statements, the two that were issued, and what we know about what was in the ransom notes, they are just leads of many leads. They're taking them seriously, and they have to assume it's legitimate. But I think there are indicators they are not legitimate. But as good investigators, they're pursuing both. So let me talk a little bit about the most recent ransom note. It's markedly different than the first. In the first ransom note, it followed crisis or kidnapping negotiations 101, humanizing the victim, humanizing the family members that are looking for the victim, wanting her back, trying to get an open line of communication that provides proof of life. All of those are exactly what you would expect with a family that's really cooperating with law enforcement and a law enforcement agency that's knowledgeably coaching them. The second family statement, much different. They were not speaking directly to the victim anymore. They were speaking only to the kidnappers. That's a huge change. They used some terminology that I think is indicative. They started with saying, "We understand." So that's something in the second ransom note that we're not privy to, but they understand what was said. They're not negotiating. They're saying, "We understand." Then they talk about returning her, not releasing her, but returning her. And then they also talk about celebrating with her and willing to pay. So all of those are really indicative and probably crafted very explicitly. They wanted those words to be that way. So they're not talking to the victim. They're talking directly to kidnappers, still trying to get a line of communication open, still trying to understand what that payment might mean, but they want her returned. So you could read a lot into it, but in the end, whatever you read into it, whatever assumption you make, understand that that is one facet of a large investigation, and these ransom notes may not be legitimate at all, but they're treating it as if they are.
You know, something else that folks have been talking about, I mean, anything and almost anything can be traced digitally these days.
Emails.
Two questions for you. One is the ransom note that was sent to the media. Can that be traced? And two, lots of people have been talking as well about Bitcoin, that was what they asked. That can also be easily traced. Is that true?
Both can be traced. Easily is subjective there. So technology is a double-edged sword. It works well for law enforcement. You have a lot of different technology, a lot of abilities to track certain things, whether that's cell phones to cars, whatever it happens to be. But it also works to the kidnappers' favor as well. They've got technology that works to anonymize, that works to help keep them concealed, especially through multiple anonymizing services or multiple IP address routers. So it can be very difficult to track an email, but it can be done. Usually you get to some evidence. Usually you don't get to a home IP address that brings you directly to where the kidnappers are, but you get some indication of why they're using what they're using and the route they're coming from. You know, if it's international versus domestic, like you can really narrow in on something about that kidnapper. And I'm sure the FBI has some of that information that they've not released. But bringing you directly to where the victim's held, that's probably rare and nothing that we would expect in a case like this, if it's legitimate.
Lance, we have a comment in the chat from Darla Nickel 93 saying maybe something the kidnappers demanded was for them to take the tape down, go away, so the kidnappers can go back or something, and told the cops when to go back and where to specifically look. I mean, we have seen instances where the suspect will communicate with law enforcement in such a way.
So that's what law enforcement wants. They want that open line of communication. If they're communicating in that way, they want that. They really don't want that through media outlets or third parties. They want that direct line of communication. There are cases, rare though they may be, where a suspect may go back to the scene of the crime. In this case, I hesitate to say anything won't happen because there have been so many twists and turns in this case that are unexpected and rare, but I would be extremely surprised if the communication was take down that crime scene tape and leave because the kidnappers needed to come back in some fashion. I think it was more likely direction about maybe what's happened, why they cannot provide proof of life, and maybe it's some direction more on meeting this last deadline, which is today.
You know, if we could ask this question here, we have a break coming up in about 2 minutes. So I want to make sure to get this in there as well. So can you talk about the pacemaker connection? The fact that that's how they knew, it was connected to her phone. That's how it helped in the timeline of events. Have some of these medical devices helped in any way with some of the timelines with cases? And, does it help or hurt, or what are your thoughts on this?
So helps tremendously. First of all, a timeline is critical in an investigation like this. That's the first thing as an investigator you're going to look to narrow down is that timeline. And you're using timestamps from surveillance videos. You're using call logs on cell phones. You're using the Uber delivery driver drop-off time. And then you're using anything on her phone. And her phone was left behind at the scene. Anything on her phone that would provide some timestamp or information. the pacemaker being connected from her phone to the actual pacemaker is one of those examples. And there may be others, but that's one of the examples. So now when you put it all together, that timeline together, you have a person indicated on a camera and a camera being disconnected. And then you have, I think it's about a 45-minute span where you have the pacemaker disconnecting from the phone. So you've got somebody at the house, or possibly somebody at the house. You have something happening to a camera, which doesn't normally happen. It's broken. So that indicates somebody's there and something nefarious is happening. And then at the far end of the timeline, you've got the pacemaker disconnecting from the phone, meaning the pacemaker probably left the range of the phone and can no longer talk to it. So right there, you have your timeline. I think it's about 45 minutes. That is, like I said, golden for an investigator, because now you can focus a lot of technical resources on those 45 minutes. You've got a space and time and a location, all to put your technical resources towards. So what happened in those 45 minutes at that house? That's what they're looking at. And that's when technology comes into play. That's where law enforcement has a lot of resources.
Lance, hold with us if you don't mind till after the break.
Sure.
We just have another question for you. We'll be right back.
Sure.
It's like nighty night in this image.
I'm going to say that's a different country. I don't think it's in the U.S., Dave.
No, it has to
because
be.
we are not in a total eclipse of the heart.
It's Rome.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, wow. I thought, wow, this is a beautiful
like
shot.
DC.
And I was like, it's nighty night there. Welcome back, everyone, to Fox 10 Talks here at 1045. Well, let's go ahead and bring Lance back in. He's worked for the FBI for many years, still works in that type of industry and security, and very knowledgeable when it comes to these type of situations, of course, when we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case.
So 84 years old, disappeared. It's been 9 days today, Lance, since they've been searching for her. You have 30 years experience. You've covered so many different cases, I imagine, and there's not one that's going to be alike. The outcome of this is not predictable. We can't say what's going to happen at 5 o'clock today, 3 o'clock tomorrow, but looking at it from the cases you've covered, can you in any way make an educated guess as to what will happen in this situation, what could happen?
So any guess I make is just that, it's a guess, because we are not privy to a lot of the information. Well, 99% of the information the investigators have. However, when you look at history and you look at percentages and how things work out in cases like this, first of all, there are so many things that have happened in this case that you never see all together in one case. The ransom notes, the age of the victim, the nature of the kidnapping, all of this. But what I see from the scene when I see a physical force entry, and then I see something went wrong inside that house, which is evidenced by blood leading outside the house, and not an insignificant amount of blood. There was a decent amount of blood, especially for a victim of this age with already ongoing health issues. If you think that's a kidnapping for a ransom case, something, well, either if you do or do not, something went wrong in that house. That was likely not the plan if whoever entered that house was to hurt her in the way that she would be bleeding that badly. And if you did hurt her in that way, holding on to a victim that's fragile, older, has medical issues, and now an injury, and keeping her healthy for a period of time over a week, that is extremely unusual and does not bode well. Investigators usually the 12-hour, 24-hour mark, that's what you're looking at to solve a kidnapping case, not over a week, especially without proof of life. It's tough.
I spoke with someone who's retired FBI over the weekend, and we were chatting about this case. And she says to me, usually when you have a case with an elderly person, it's somebody they know or somebody related to the family or somebody within their circle of people that they know. As a former FBI agent, do you think that is usually, I know we're kind of talking about theories here, but usually the case when you have the victim is elderly?
If I can add to that, because I was thinking the same thing, what is this all about? Is it about the money, or is someone trying to send some type of message?
Yeah. So to answer your first question, absolutely rare that this would be, it would almost be like, it's way more rare than lightning striking you for this to be a true stranger kidnapping of this type of individual, for all the complexities that I just talked about with an elderly victim like this. But, and the second question was, I'm sorry.
What's the motive? I mean, is it the money, or is someone sending a message? I mean, look at who her daughter is and who she's married to.
One of the most unique things of this case is, what is that motive? So usually, well, there are multiple motives for kidnappers: financial gain, ideological, could be just delusional, it could be exploitation, or domestic dispute. Those are pretty much the motives. There are a few others, but that's generally it. The only two that involve ransom demands or some kind of statement are the ideological or financial gains. So you're communicating to try to get money, or you're just trying to make a statement. So the ransom notes indicate financial gain. However, the financial gain request went to media outlets, which is usually reserved for ideological motivated kidnappings. With a financial gain, they should go straight to the family or straight to law enforcement, because that's who's going to be paying them. So the motive here is unusual. Percentages are that it's not either of those two, ideological or financial gain. Percentages are somebody she knows, or a person that knows of her through maybe a worker that's been at the house, somebody that saw her in the community, thinks she has a lot of money, went in with one intention, then things went wrong and they had to do something else. So that's more than likely, percentage-wise, what would have happened here. However, hard to predict.
Yeah. All right. Lance Leising, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. You served in the FBI for many years, now still working in the technology and security world, and you've been a wealth of knowledge. Thank you so much. Have a great day. We hope to have you back.
Thanks, Lance.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. This morning, we also have, of course, we're talking Super Bowl, which we'll get to. Big day. I know a lot of you are looking forward to seeing Dave's face on the screen and hearing his voice. So he's getting ready. He's primping his nose. He's got a little powder on his nose.
A little lip gloss.
Yeah, he's going to get ready here in a second. But what we do want to go to is your poll question, because it does have to do with the halftime show and Super Bowl. Do you agree with Trump saying the halftime show was a slap in the face to our country? Yes or no? You can scan the QR code on your screen and vote there. We're going to go over your responses here in a brief moment. And then we have your YouTube question as well, yes or no. And we've got 122 likes on that one. We've got 2,000 votes, Anita, on this one already.
A lot of people have been talking about this since the day that they announced that Bad Bunny would be performing. And so a lot of people have opinions on that.
Very strong opinions.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to that in a brief moment. But first, Dave, are we ready on the Zoom, buddy? Okay, let's get right to Mike this morning. Mike, good morning. You're with Cars.com. It's good to see you, my friend.
Hi, Mike.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So you have something interesting to share with us. There may be a lot of people, Anita, out there looking to buy cars right now.
I'm on the brink. My car, if I maintain it, is okay, and I don't want to spend the money, but I want a new car.
So what are some of the things that folks are looking for, and what does your new study reveal?
Well, it's very expensive to buy a new car these days. The average price of a new vehicle is approaching $50,000. And there's so many choices out there for people who may have been out of the market for a while, just not really knowing where to start. So that's kind of where the Cars.com Best of Awards come in, to really give shoppers some great options in different categories, whether they're looking for an SUV, pickup truck, electric vehicle, or a family vehicle.
Is it true that the car depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot, the brand new car?
It does. That still happens with new cars. So that's why you really have to go in to the car shopping process with a game plan before you get to the dealership, to really focus on your needs, your must-have features, a price that works for your budget.
So let's talk about the best car of the year. Which one is that?
So our car of the year this year is the 2026 Nissan Leaf. It's the redesigned version of Nissan's electric vehicle. They've transformed it from kind of a basic commuter vehicle to a sleek crossover packed with tons of style, technology, in a really affordable starting price of less than $32,000.
Oh, wow.
That is pretty good for
Much
a brand
better
new car. What about a best family car? We have a lot of people with
families.
With numerous kids, but also kids with a lot of friends, and they're driving them to different sports activities, and they're taking them to different places. You need room not just for the kids, but all the stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Our best family car this year is the Hyundai Santa Fe. It's a 3-row SUV that kind of fills the gap between some of the larger 3-row models and the smaller compact SUVs. So really space efficient on the inside with 3 rows of seating, so room for people and stuff. And comes with a hybrid powertrain if you want something more efficient, and a starting price of right around $37,000.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And gas is a lot easier on the pocketbook with one of those type of vehicles. Here's the last question for you, Mike. Best SUV.
Yeah, our best SUV is another Nissan, the Nissan Armada. Wow. So this is a full-size SUV. If you're looking for something, you need some capability, like you're towing a boat or towing a camper. It has more than 8,000 pounds of towing capacity. There's off-road oriented trim levels if you want to go off the pavement. So a very versatile SUV that's our winner this year.
Awesome. Thank you. How do people find you, get all this information? Maybe they are in the market and they need a little bit of advice.
Yeah, you can go to cars.com/awards to see all of our award winners and find them for sale near you.
Awesome. Thanks. I hope you get to test drive all of them.
I know, right?
That would be a fun job.
Have a great day. Thank you.
That new car smell.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. All right. We're talking about your Super Bowl recap, and we know many of you want to get to see Big D, and he's been waiting
patiently.
Super Bowl 60 in the book. Seahawks winning, dominating their way to victory. Their, quote, dark side defense, of course, won the big game. Chicken wings, though, I have to say, once again, the MVP of the game in terms of the game day snacks.
Okay.
Anita, what were you guys consuming?
We were really boring and didn't have anything. We made dinner, and then we had ice cream.
Oh, that's
I watched
good.
the first quarter, some of the halftime show, and was out.
Okay.
So we did not have a Super Bowl spread.
Oh, okay.
We didn't do one.
We did a veggie tray.
Okay. Which everyone laughed at me when I said I wanted carrots.
Oh, no. I love them. And those are the best with the buffalo chicken wing dip that I made at home. That was what my hubs asked for, chicken wing dip.
Perfect.
And then we made barbecue shredded chicken.
Oh.
Like pulled pork, but chicken sandwiches.
Okay.
And then we had salsa and guacamole and like an onion dip for veggies and things like that.
I feel like it's all about the food.
Yeah.
You know, everyone loves. For me, the Super Bowl is an event, and it's a time to gather and
just hang out and talk, and the commercials. Okay, let's go to your poll question. We want to make sure we get this in. Do you agree with Trump saying the halftime show was a slap in the face to our country? 83% of you say yes. I wish the NFL halftime show had only English language hit songs. 17% said no. Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican and American citizen. It showed some diversity. You can share your thoughts on that QR code. Anita, would you like to go over to YouTube?
Look at how different different the results are, and this is our YouTube poll. Once again, asking, do you guys agree with President Trump saying that Bad Bunny, because I do believe he posted on social media, saying that the show was an affront to the greatness of America, slap in the face to our country. 39% of you are saying yes, I wish the NFL halftime show had only English learning hits, or no, Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican and an American citizen. So very, very different, two very different types of answers.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to go to Big D. Hi, Dave. We saved the best for last.
Yeah, but that wave needs to be bigger if you're going with that nickname. There you go, buddy. There you go.
There's a lot of comments.
Yeah, there's been a lot of attention on this poll question. You can always vote and comment at fox10phoenix.com/poll, as well as on YouTube. Franz Frusner, 4086, says, if you think showing a successful brown American literally living the American dream is an affront to the country, then you want the American dream only to become real for white Americans. Ganymede EV Project says, regardless of your political stance, 130 plus million people tuned in. This was about getting eyes on their product, and it was a resounding success for the NFL. Hodine 2023 says, I do not speak or understand Spanish, but I thoroughly enjoyed the halftime show. Surprise guest stars were enjoyable as well. Not political programming, just a day of entertainment after watching 17 plus weeks of football. Carry on pop music. Keep the comments up, guys.
All right, buddy. Thank you. And Old Farts 2.0 said TP USA halftime show was amazing. Thanks for joining us, folks. Anita and Ty are next.
I'm staying. I switch one hot house for another.
There you go. Welcome on in, you guys.
Tuesday, Monday.
Happy Monday.
It's not Tuesday.
Tomorrow's Tuesday. We're almost there.
Monday after the Super Bowl, 26 million people absent from work. Some, like Ron, take a vacation day or take a day off. Others call out sick. And then I think it was like 17, I don't remember, percent or something, or 1.7 mil, just ghost. They just don't show.
I don't understand that.
Can you even imagine? You would be at my house knocking on my door like, Anita,
you gotta go to work.
I know you're in there. I know your car. We're talking about Super Bowl. We're going to continue talking about that, especially Googling the trends of the Super Bowl. Because I had to Google quite a bit.
Oh, go on.
Well, you know, like the music and Ricky Martin. How old is Ricky?
You know what? Everybody at the...
Who didn't Google Ricky?
How old
I remember Ricky,
was.
but woo, hello, Ricky.
So let's get right to our first guest, Christina Basilio. Good morning, Christina. How are you?
Did you Google Ricky, Christina?
Christina, give us 1 second.
We can't quite hear you just yet. Beautiful.
It's on
Hold
our end. It's not you. Just give it 1 second.
Okay, try again.
Hi, it's so good to be here.
Yay. Did you Google Ricky?
I recognized Ricky immediately, but I did Google Cardi B, and it was that Jessica Alba or some of the top searched people. That halftime show had me typing away.
Yeah, it was like you had the iPad out, the phone on, you're like listening, watching, thinking, what's going on here?
You know what? I love kind of diving into the data, and that's exactly what we're going to talk to you about this morning. Some of those Google trends that came out of the Super Bowl. So I want to start off right at the beginning. Can you talk about what Google trends are?
Yeah, so we look at the Google data. It's all anonymous, what people are looking for, how it spikes. We look at things that are trending. And for the Super Bowl, it's such a national conversation. We like to see what people are talking about during the game, what people kind of pop up. And so that's what I'm here to chat with you guys about.
Sure.
So what was the number one thing that people were searching for yesterday, whether at the top of the Super Bowl or the top of the day?
So one of the really cool things that we saw peak during the show was Bad Bunny. He was an all-time search high during his Super Bowl performance. Some other people that we saw spike during the Super Bowl were the quarterback for New England, Drake May, Stephon Diggs, which I think because people didn't feel like they were seeing enough of him. And then, of course, Sam Darnold from the Seattle Seahawks was one of our top searched people. And our MVP of the game, Kenneth Walker III, he was really, really top of mind for people yesterday.
Was there anything surprising that you saw that came out of some of these searches, or ones that made you kind of scratch your head like, what the heck was going on here?
So one of the really cool ones that I saw was the search interest for who was the youngest coach to ever win the Super Bowl spiked by 1,300% yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the answer to that is Sean McVay. He won when he was 36 when he was coaching the Rams. But I think there's a lot of interest because Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Seahawks, is actually 38. So just 2 years older. And I think they were interested to see if he was the youngest coach.
Was anyone searching things? I'm superstitious. I know some players are as well. You know, some will wear the same pair of socks until they lose or what have you. Were people searching anything specific about players in that way?
So one of our breakout players that ended up popping up was who was the kicker for the Seahawks, and that was Jason Myers. There's a lot of interest around him, and some of the other key questions that we saw around this were like, has there ever been a shutout? I think our New England Patriots fans were a little bit nervous.
They were hoping.
No shutout in the Super Bowl, and luckily that's still true following yesterday's game. But as well with Jason, there was a question around has a kicker ever been the MVP of the game? And I think Jason, while he didn't get it last year, he was a really great yesterday. He was a really great contender for it.
Huh.
What about that wedding that we saw that was celebrated in the halftime show? You think that most of what you see on TV is an act, it's fake, but the understanding is it was real.
It was, and that was one of our top questions as well, was that wedding real? And the answer is yes. And I think there are a lot of really great buzz and interest around the halftime show. I already mentioned the questions around, was so-and-so there? So while I was searching for Cardi B, people were searching for, was that Lady Gaga? Was that Pedro Pascal? Was that Jessica Alba? And then there was a lot of interest in the guest performers, Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, during that halftime show. But that wedding, yes, was real.
Huh.
Oh, what about the Grammy Award, though? Is anyone searching that? Because Bad Bunny hands his Grammy Award to a little boy. I want to know if it was real. Was that really his Grammy Award?
That was really his Grammy Award. And it's so timely. All of these big important things happening right now. So that crossover with the Grammys he just won for Best Album, and then it's showing up at the Super Bowl. That was really cool. But yeah, it was real.
Well, I was doing some more kind of deep digging into kind of the significance of what he did during the Super Bowl. And I thought it was really interesting that when he did that shot with that lady, she's like the owner of one of the longest running, I guess, kind of like social clubs, Puerto Rican social clubs that's still in operation in New York, which I was like, I didn't know that. So I did more Googling on what exactly that was and how long it had been there. It was kind of interesting. Like it's the rabbit hole that I guess these searches kind of bring you down.
For sure. That is so cool. You just taught me something. And I think that's like the really good things about these big social moments. You click in, you try to learn more, and you never know what you're going to find.
Yeah. That's kind of the fun part about your job too, kind of like getting into the nitty gritty of the data.
Oh yeah. It's so fun to see kind of what is top of mind for folks. Last year, we saw that there are a lot of questions around the rules. And I think because given the teams that we had this year, there was a lot of interest in just the specific players, who they are, and how that's going to show up this year. So it was really interesting how every year changes what people are looking for.
Sure. How much do you love it when people say, just Google it?
For sure. It's one of our favorite things. And if you have interest in any of these trends, not only just football, if you head over to trends.google.com, we have so much information there around what is top of mind for folks all the time.
Very cool. Well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. That was fun.
Yeah, great info.
Yeah, thank you. You guys have fun today.
Thanks. We're going down that Bad Bunny rabbit hole. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
Okay, sticking with the Super Bowl, how many did you have? I'm going to guess your favorite commercial.
Well, you know what? I was trying to pay attention, but I was
you were at a party.
A gathering, and so it was kind of hard to listen. But now I've kind of done my research about some of these, but there were some really good
I was going to guess at the Lady Gaga mortgage commercial was maybe on the top of your list.
That was a great one. So we have Bob Case. He is the president and the chief creative officer of Lavage, a local advertising expert here this morning. I wanted to start off right at the top. It seems like there are maybe trends year after year. Some of them are like, I think
human interest, maybe
back in like the early 2000s, it was all about the laughs. Remember, like the what's up,
the .com era, all of that stuff with the job monkey and all of the things that were coming out of that. And then there was the
trend of kind of like tear jerkers with like the Coors, Clydesdales and the dog and that kind of stuff. What do you think was the trend this year?
So as far as trends go, I think nostalgia was back for sure. And nostalgia being like 90s and a lot of that kind of feel and flavor. I did see a thing too that this was the first year that there were more pharmaceutical ads than there were alcohol ads in the Super Bowl.
Oh, goodness.
Like
what does that say about society?
Exactly. We were going through
really worried about that one.
Pretty fundamental shifts that we're starting
Very
to
interesting.
See. Yes.
Folks at home, if you have questions or we'd love to hear, chime in and tell us what your favorite commercial was. There were a couple that stood out to me. I thought the Dove commercial that was geared towards women was very powerful. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, they've been so true to that, and they're one of my favorite brands for that they are truly a mission-driven brand, and they do that every year, and they are so good about empowering women and speaking to that. Just a great spot every time.
Truly well coordinated.
You picked out some of your favorites here, and the Lay's one, I think we have video of that.
That was going to be mine.
So you can see it. Let's talk about this one, because this one was fantastic.
The Lay's potato farmer, right? So you talk about Americana, you talk about a little bit of nostalgia, fathers and daughters. Like there's just so much of that that's true. As I'm looking at so much of this stuff, I'm trying to say, is there a strategy behind it? Is it and does it feel authentic? And this marked both of those things really, really well.
What's the strategy behind this commercial? Obviously selling potato chips, but they're sending another message about their product.
Yeah, they're trying to attach you a feeling to the farmers who are making those potatoes. So it's deeper than just the chip. Now you're getting into, there's a reason to believe in Lay's because Lay's is employing all of these people or bringing this all to life.
I love, this was a great one. And the story kind of behind the whole thing. It was just like a great little movie within the minute spot.
Yes.
Very cool.
Oh, wow. That's for a minute spot. That's a lot.
And if you walk away with that warm feeling, now that's a win for Lay's, because now next time you see that, that's going to carry.
All right, the next one was the Levi's commercial.
Oh, hi.
And this was just, I thought the filming of this was kind of funny because it just shows the derriere, the booty.
Just butts. And it's so true to the Levi's brand. I mean, and it's what a great logo placement for them. Everything about it, that you can be that simple. You get a really great piece of music and you just show dancing butts.
I thought you were going to say something else.
That's implied.
That was so creative, so simple, and so creative. We have a question here. Was AI used heavily for commercials? That's from Lil Philosophy.
Oh, my goodness, yes. And some of it well done and a lot of it horribly done. And also just the spots that were just purely either for the companies who do AI or for companies that are leveraging AI. And it felt to me almost like it just got so noisy that you couldn't really differentiate anything.
Yeah.
And so it made stuff to be memorable.
All right. Anita mentioned this one at the top. This was the Redfin commercial that had the Lady Gaga song on it. And I think this kind of goes back to the Lay's, where it really tells a beautiful story within that spot.
Yeah. You get into this idea of, and again, I think just right now in this moment in our country, the idea of just being a good neighbor and the importance of community. all of that stuff being encapsulated in this one spot leaves you with a pretty warm feeling about Redfin.
I loved that commercial.
Yeah, it was really good.
Because there was a dog in it too.
That always tugs at anybody's heartstrings,
dogs
right?
and kids.
It does. It's like
Dogs and
just
kids.
people helping people. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Svedka one. Now, this one kind of got mixed reviews. I haven't seen this one
I
yet, so
haven't
you
either.
might
Let's
have
see.
to explain that. Oh,
I
that's
haven't
creepy
seen
already.
this.
Is this the AI?
Yeah, so I had to even do some research on this to understand how this came about. But evidently, this was a takeoff years ago that they had done off of an episode of The $6 Million Man in the 1970s that had fembots in it.
Oh.
And I think the retro thing worked well in the Mike Myers movies, Austin Powers.
Oh, goodness.
But this was awful. It's just
That's what a lot of people are saying.
And it's the Gen AI, but it's the worst aspects of Gen AI because it is that plastic and kind of cold and creepy feeling stuff. And I just can't see how that helped that brand at all, other than to say that they made an AI spot.
We've got about a minute left. I wanted to ask you about the other one that it was like a karaoke. And it was like a Backstreet Boys song. I couldn't even tell you what.
Did you see the Backstreet Boys? Is the commercial?
It was Coinbase is the one that.
Okay, because they did a Backstreet Boys one too.
Yes.
It was just like a karaoke. What was the thinking behind that, you think?
So their thing was, again, just these agencies are just buying into the nostalgia and just this 1990s kind of flavor and feel. I know a couple of my younger creative teams were okay with that.
Okay.
They thought that there was a little bit that was just kind of edgy with it.
Yeah.
I just see no connection to that brand. That brand isn't old enough to be retro.
Yeah.
We have to take a quick break. Stay with us. We have to take a 2-minute break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. We have Bob Case with us, the president, chief creative officer, at Lavage, a local advertising agency. It's so fun to kind of pick your brain because I love kind of like getting into the weeds about stuff like this.
The hidden meanings.
Yeah, and just kind of like what you think, what hit home. When you watch the Super Bowl, is your family like, oh boy, now we have to watch every single commercial? We have to be quiet so he can watch and examine?
Yeah. We used to have parties and things like that. No, now I just sit on a couch by myself. I have a chat going with all the people that I work with, and that's literally all it is now.
Were there any others that we didn't mention that you thought was a standout, either really good or really poor?
I wanted to like the Instacart craziness.
The one that had Benson Boone doing a backflip or something?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that one.
I wanted to like it, but again, no real connection. And then it just felt like all of the food delivery stuff it's just kind of lost again because nothing really stood out. They were all really clever, but just there wasn't anything really unique to it.
What about the Budweiser commercial? Everyone's talking about how that was like the ultimate commercial. I watched it, and it's the baby horse, and it helps
the bird.
and it helps the baby eagle get its wings, and at the end you see this eagle flying away, which is like Americana and so beautiful. I mean, I saw a lot of AI in that, I thought, which was a little bit much for me. I think they could have done it without the AI in a more realistic way, and it still would have hit.
Yeah, I would dig in more on that to see whether or not if it was 3D animation versus it being pure AI. But I agree with you. I feel like Budweiser does such a good job with their storytelling, and they nailed the story piece of it. I think the visual were a little cheesy, and the big moment of the horse turning into Pegasus, that was a cool reveal. But up to that point, I don't know. It was, I mean, Budweiser is Budweiser, and it's right in their wheelhouse.
Well, Bob, thank you so much for coming in. We love kind of doing like a little debrief after the Super Bowl and talking about these commercials, and so we appreciate your insight. That was a lot of fun.
No, thank you guys.
We'll see you next year.
We'll see you next year. Yeah,
maybe even before that.
We're going to book you now for 2020.
2027. Goodness gracious. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah, so those commercials were great. Was there one commercial that you saw, Ty, like a celebrity that really stood out? Yeah, Lady Gaga was a big one.
Well, I just don't know if like the celebrity ones hit as much as they used to, or they think they do. I don't know. I thought some of those other ones that would.
You know what hit? The snacks.
The snacks.
Yeah.
And that's why we're talking about this, because guess what? After a day, you feel a little gluttonous. Jamie Miller, registered dietitian over at The Village, is joining us here this morning to get us kind of back on track.
Jamie, nice and close to that mic because they don't pick up super great. Ty and I said we were going to eat carrots, and people gave us a lot. You didn't?
No.
I did.
Someone brought the most delicious chocolate chip cookies to the Super Bowl party that I was at.
How many?
And I'm not answering.
12. He ate 12.
I'm not answering, Jamie. They were really
Today's a new
good.
day.
That's what I mean. Today we're starting over.
Yes, we are. With stable blood sugars.
Yes. Oh, so talk to me about what that means and why that's important, stable blood sugar.
So this is kind of a shocking statistic. A third of this nation has prediabetes. That's crazy.
A third?
A third, yes.
Even with all the
they might not know
and all the information that we have out there.
Yeah, and a fourth of our of the budget for healthcare is for diabetes. Like, this is a big issue, you know, and. The main thing is you do want to make sure that when you eat a carbohydrate, it's balanced in with protein and fiber and healthy fats.
Because carbohydrates do what?
They spike your blood sugar, but if you eat it with things that digest slower, like fiber and protein and fats, it stabilizes that blood sugar so you don't have the highs and the lows. And so if you have stable blood sugars, that not only means that you're going to not have prediabetes, but also helps with a lot of different hormones like stress hormones and cortisol. It helps with your appetite. If you have these crazy cravings for sugar, it's probably like a low blood sugar or a high blood sugar. It helps with weight management in that sense. You're not always craving those carbs. So many different elements that this really does impact, you know?
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So you brought some examples.
Well, so these are actually going to be hacks. So yes, you want to make.
I love a good hack.
Yes, you want to make sure that when you eat a carbohydrate, it's balanced with other elements in that meal. But then I have 3 hacks that just kind of support when you do eat carbohydrates, right?
So these are all natural. We're not talking about GLPs. We're not talking about
this is
supplements.
Good, wholesome
this is actual food.
Yes. So the first one is actually apple cider vinegar. Have you ever heard? There's so many health benefits of apple cider vinegar, but if you eat vinegar, especially apple cider vinegar with a carbohydrate, it basically slows gastric emptying. So like, let's say you have a high or is like a starch item like rice or something like that.
Toast? No.
Yeah, something like
that
that.
would
Yes.
be very starchy.
If you were to have just 3 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar with it, it can decrease about 20% that insulin spike. That's pretty substantial.
Question for you then.
Yes.
So I started doing years ago, I do a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, liquid cayenne, liquid dandelion, and liquid turmeric.
Wow.
And I just, it does not taste good. But I shoot it in the morning, and then chase it with a little bit of like Powerade sugar-free.
Yeah.
And I feel like it helps with the inflammation.
There's
and the
so many things it helps with, but it's also going to help with your blood sugar. So if you were to have it with a meal, it would then make that blood sugar not spike. So yours tastes, I bet it's pretty strong in flavor.
So I'm doing it wrong.
My hack is this. So you take a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and then I mix it with a no sugar added electrolyte powder. So it has that delicious flavor. And you would think it would be super like sour because of the vinegar, but it almost is like lemon. Like, you know, like you added lemon to your water because you add other flavors like with electrolyte packet. You could do other combinations.
Is it bad to put honey in because that's a form of sugar?
Yeah, that would kind of neutralize the effect. Yeah, so just like a no added sugar electrolyte packet that has like monk fruit or stevia in it would be better.
Okay.
So that's a tasty drink to have with your meal.
Now, is there a better time to do this than others? Like, is this like a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner? Or
well, for the glucose effect, have it with your meal.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So like right before and during the meal.
And is it safe to do it multiple times a day with every meal?
Yeah, I would say like with your higher carbohydrate meal. But yeah.
Because apple cider vinegar is acidic.
Yeah, you just want to watch the enamel on your teeth if you're just drinking it all day long.
What about your stomach lining though? Because I've read things that it can also...
Yeah, you have it with a big glass of water and have it with a meal.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one hack.
I like that.
I like that too.
The second is going to be something called resistant starches. Have you ever heard of resistant starches before?
I don't even know what that is.
So this is going to be if you take a starch like in potatoes or rice or pasta.
You're speaking my language. All
I know this is crazy. The dietitian is telling you to eat these things, right? No, if you cook it, you cool it, and then you could heat it up again if you would like, but it changes basically the structure of the starch so it resists digestion in the small intestine, so it won't spike your blood sugar as much. Kind of like a high fiber item.
I've heard that about sweet potatoes, right? There's something about sweet potatoes that you eat them the next day after
Yeah, so this is kind of like a great way to meal prep. So this is just like a boring boiled potato, right? But let's say now for dinner, I air fry them, get them nice and crispy, something like that. But I cooled them first, so that's going to increase the resistant starch. Same with like white rice, you know, it would spike your blood sugar. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but not if you have that resistant starch a little bit more. And then pasta salad's a great way to use like leftover pasta, right? But it's going to increase that resistant starch. Now, so for those three things, you cook, cool, and then you can cook them again. Now with oats, I made an overnight oat. Overnight oats is wonderful. If you don't cook oats, but you just soak them, let them so you don't actually ever break down, the resistant starches is higher in oats. So that's a great, and for this overnight oats, I then added Greek yogurt for protein and then fiber with chia seeds and healthy fats with the chia seeds and the walnuts. So I have carbs, but I'm having it with protein, fats, fiber to really stabilize that blood sugar.
Take us through again what the resistant starches are and why that's better.
So basically, when you cook and then cool, or if you just are like making this cold, it changes the molecular structure of that starch.
So it's not spiking.
So it takes longer to digest because it's resisting digestion in the gut.
Okay.
Resistant starch, it's resisting digestion. Kind of how like fiber is resistant to digestion. It takes longer to digest fiber. Kind of that same principle. So you're just changing the molecular structure of
and
the
then
starch.
the blood doesn't spike.
So your blood sugar doesn't spike.
Because you're not moving as much.
So it's not going as quickly through the system. So your blood sugar would go, like if you just ate straight sugar, it would go boom, boom, right? Straight down.
Have a little crash.
Right. But then you're going more steady. The same reason why if you're eating fiber or protein that takes longer to digest, it doesn't spike it as much.
Very interesting.
I know that some people are very like in tune with their blood sugar. I know you always talk about how you can
I can
feel
can feel it get low.
Yeah.
Is that I've never I don't know. Is that
some people are more just sensitive, you know, but some people might just be more in tune to their
I'm not.
I feel like I'm about to pass out, and I know that and I'm not pre-diabetic. I've had
might even have to do with like metabolism. If you have a faster metabolism, you're going to burn through the glucose quicker, and then you're going to crash a little bit more, that kind of thing. So a lot of it is biological and other factors. If you're super active, you're going to have that crash and that kind
also,
of thing.
if you eat a bag of candy for dinner or for breakfast,
that might do it. My last hack though is cinnamon. So the same thing is interesting. Cinnamon, it slows that gastric emptying again. It also kind of mimics insulin, so it creates glucose to go into the cell quicker. So for this overnight oats, I did a cinnamon apple overnight oats. So this is just packed with ways to stabilize that blood sugar. So sprinkle away.
What else did you put in the oatmeal?
So with the oats, I did chia seed, protein powder, yogurt, and then I added the apple and the oatmeal or the walnuts.
Yeah, because you mentioned as long as you're not cooking them, and I've read that oats can actually be not that great for you, not that great for your stomach.
No, and they can be, but if you're trying to stabilize that blood sugar and
then
feel
that's
fuller for longer and that kind of thing, then not cooking them helps create that resistant starch.
If anyone has any questions, let us know. We would love to ask Jamie for you.
Jamie, I was at the store yesterday, and Crystal always brings in this most delicious looking overnight oats. So I was like texting her, but I bought the wrong kind of oats. Is there like a better, like she was saying there's difference between the
quick cut, steel cut, yeah. Well, I wouldn't do steel. You can't do steel cut. Old fashioned would be the best, like a rolled oat kind of thing. That takes longer to break down, so it's not spike that blood sugar as much because your body has to work harder to break it down. I wouldn't do steel cut for overnight oats because it just never would get soft enough. Gotcha. You know, like you have to really cook those. Yeah. That's great, but that maybe if you like warm oats better, maybe you do something like that. But there's not a wrong answer. You know,
I take when I do the old school coffee maker. So I have a scoop of coffee grounds and then I sprinkle the cinnamon into the coffee grounds because someone told me once a long time ago that it helps you regulate your blood sugar, especially first thing in the morning.
And it tastes delicious too.
I like the taste and I like the smell.
So for cinnamon, like put it on yogurt. Like just kind of get creative. Whenever you're doing something, put a little bit of cinnamon. It's great.
Amazing.
Full of antioxidants too. You know,
nature's medicine.
Yeah.
Can we talk about antioxidants real quick too? Because that's been kind of a buzzword for a long time. Can you explain what they do and like why they're so important?
So that's like, I mean, antioxidants are so many different types. There's what are in things that are, you know, like fruits and vegetables, all that kind of stuff. Basically, it's helping your body with free radicals. So it's very cellular, you know, deep. There's so many different types of anthocyanins and all of that. But why do you want to eat them? It's going to help with inflammation. It's help with cancer prevention, disease prevention in general. It's just kind of think about like cellular turnover and helping with the free radicals, the bad guys in your body.
I love when Jamie's
That's bad, guys.
We just pepper you with so many questions.
Do you ever just open up a gallon of ice cream and go to town, or do you? Because I do.
She's like, I'm not going to tell you right here on TV.
Yeah, I mean, we've chatted a lot off camera. It's like I like to be a healthy eater, but every once in a while, I'm like, gosh darn it, I need some ice cream.
Okay, it is healthy to not always be perfect, right? And I think that's something interesting. Like exercise, you exercise 5 times a week or whatever it may be. You eat a lot during the week. It's okay to not have a perfect meal. Now, if you're going to have ice cream, make sure you have a really wholesome dinner beforehand. So you go into that ice cream just not hungry, not going to pounce on it, have a mindful portion and move on, and then that's fine, right? There's a healthy way to eat unhealthy things.
But do you eat the ice cream?
Yeah, I do.
Hard-hitting questions.
Not every day, but like,
thanks for coming in.
We appreciate it. That was fun.
Great info. Thank
real
you.
quick, we got 5 seconds. How can people find you?
The Village Health Clubs. I have a blog with lots of recipes. They can reach out just for an appointment as well.
Awesome. Jamie, thank you.
Yeah.
right. Good morning. And thanks for sticking around there in the chat. 11:30, and look at who you've got today.
I'm hanging around a little bit longer. We mentioned at the top that Ron took the day off. He's a big football nut.
Why are you lying to these people? I'm just kidding.
Oh,
no, it was a scheduled. It was a scheduled day off. Yeah. Can you imagine? Ron Hoon would never just call out sick.
No,
never. But yeah, it is fascinating to see that this is a big day for sick calls and people not showing up to work. This holiday after Super Bowl Sunday.
I was going to ask our boss if anybody here at Fox 10 called out. Did we know? We should name them. Just kidding. Can you imagine?
Don't worry, we're not going to throw you under the bus. But we're here.
We are indeed. And it was a busy, this has been a busy news week and a half, hasn't it?
Oh, it has. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was a week of news any of us expected. We're obviously still following the Guthrie case, that it's now in day 9. I don't think we were expecting it to last quite this long. At least the hope was that it wouldn't. But yeah, and then we had last week the unfortunate loss of the DPS troopers in Flagstaff, and the chopper went down. So just a heavy week for sure.
I had a friend call me and it was like, man, I haven't seen Arizona in the headlines this much in a really long time. And I was like, that's the way we like to keep it out of the headlines. But unfortunately, everything has just been kind of compounding over the past couple of days.
Yeah, or it's typically our weather making headlines, right? We're always setting heat records.
Yes.
But yeah, so I mean, leading into that's what we're talking about today, is continuing our coverage of the search for Nancy Guthrie. And we do have, we were able to get in touch with the church that she is a longtime member of, and they are even now responding, again, asking for prayers and asking for that support from the community. So we're going to play that right now so you can listen in to what they had to say.
Lord God, bless and guide the authorities in their search for Nancy. Give them wisdom along every step of the path to her. Lord, we ask that you would soften the hearts of those who are responsible, that they might come forward and do what is humane and what is right. We pray for Nancy's rescue. We pray for her release. We pray that she would be brought safely home.
Yeah, so that was the congregation at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Tucson yesterday, praying for the safe return of Nancy. Now, Des mentioned it at the top, but she is a longtime member of that church, obviously well known to the entire congregation. So you can only imagine their heartache and just kind of their, nerves over this entire situation. And you mentioned it too, but it was after she didn't show up to church last Sunday that's when they kind of got the whole ball rolling about, this is weird that Nancy doesn't show up for church. We called the family then went over to the house and found some crime scene, a crime scene at the house, and then that kind of started the whole ball rolling.
And I think everybody at this point is familiar with kind of the timeline of events, and obviously she was last seen, as you mentioned, that Saturday night, the 31st. But how incredible, though, for folks, I think, to pick up on the slightest difference. Like, she usually is at church every Sunday, and the fact that she isn't is a little odd. And it's so incredible that they didn't brush that off and just say, hey, maybe she just
nice to have your community of people
today.
Right?
Yeah, well aware, right? And right now you're seeing video. So as you know, it's been a long 9 days. As Pima County sheriffs are obviously involved in this investigation, the FBI trying to piece all of this together and figure out what happened to Nancy. So since her disappearance, we have now still been seeing more law enforcement activity at her home, a lot of that happening over the weekend. And today is probably a heavy day for the family. We've got this looming second deadline from a very cryptic ransom letter demanding money in exchange for Nancy and her return. So right now, you're in this video, you're seeing kind of a mix. We have ground video, and then we have also some video from up above. The Fox flight team capturing video of law enforcement searching a nearby septic tank behind Nancy's property Sunday morning. We were in tune all weekend. Obviously, it was a busy weekend, but I think we were both keeping, abreast of the situation. And I was kind of shocked to see that they were searching the septic tanks.
Yeah, and I think it's bringing up a lot more questions for folks being like, well, why wasn't that searched before? And again, we're not privy to exactly what they know, what they don't know, that kind of thing. But I think it just kind of adds to more of this mystery of what's been going on, that they're kind of researching some of these areas on the property itself.
And it's been obviously a few days since we've had an update from law enforcement. They're not doing any pressers as we know of just yet. They don't want to come out and speak unless they have new information, information that'll be helpful to the case. But it is, I would love to ask, what is the process of thinking? The tape up, the tape down? I mean, obviously we're not in law enforcement, but I would think it seems like a better idea to just keep that
as a crime
tape
scene
up and keep it blocked off as a crime scene, right? But nonetheless, investigators keep returning to her home, taping off the street, reopening it, then again to the public and sealing it off again. But the constant back and forth is definitely even leaving neighbors questioning, what's going on here? How are they handling this case? The Pima County Sheriff has acknowledged that the initial return, he said, was due to the FBI joining the efforts. But I'd be curious to see what that explanation is, moving forward now that we've seen a change.
Well, speaking of the sheriff, he's kind of getting some heat today. This is video of him at a college basketball game amid the open investigation. This is video of Chris Nanos leaving at the end of the U of A game on Saturday night. It happened just before the Guthrie family posted that new video telling the kidnappers that they're willing to pay to bring their mother back home. Now, we have reached out to the Pima County Sheriff's Office, but have not received a response back yet. Now, I guess the feeling is kind of mixed here. Some are saying, he's allowed to have a day off. He's allowed to kind of blow some steam off when we're obviously in the midst of this very high-profile case. But others are saying it's just not a good look from a PR standpoint to have the sheriff obviously, saying that they're leaving no stone unturned. They're working day and night, and then just have him at the basketball game. So the reaction to this video has kind of been mixed.
I mean, I get it from both sides of that fence. He's the sheriff. He's kind of the person leading the team. So you would think that he would want to be tied into this case nonstop, but also in that sense too. I mean, what it's like even, for us sometimes to cover news extensively. And when you're so, here, I'm trying to bring us both up here. When you're so involved in it, sometimes you need a break, right? Your brain needs to take a pause and to soak in, something else in order to take, time away and then come back with a level head. But yeah, I don't know if they'll speak out on maybe why he was attending that game, if it was family or what the case was there. And then we learned this morning that FBI Director Kash Patel is also scheduled to be in Tucson today. Oddly enough, they were saying this visit was actually pre-planned before Nancy's disappearance, but kind of odd timing, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll see if this adds just like another kind of key to the case. And what I thought was interesting is he has received personal updates on the case and could change his plans while he is here, depending on kind of, I guess, the news that's breaking. So we'll be watching this throughout the day today.
All right, well, let's get to TMZ. I didn't, Dave, I was waiting for the heads up there. I didn't know that they were ready. So let's pull you in, Eric. I thought we were waiting for you, buddy. Good Monday morning.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you? Are you well rested on this Monday, or?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. It was a pretty relaxing weekend. I got to sleep through the game because it was so boring. So yeah, it was all right. It was good.
Yeah, that is true, and we will get to that. But let's stay on the topic of this search for Nancy Guthrie. Obviously, TMZ, you guys have been at the center of this, receiving that ransom letter, being able to look at that. What can you tell us as it relates to the latest in the search for her?
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of covered a lot of it, but as of yesterday, the Pima County Sheriff say they have no person of interest, no suspects identified, not even a vehicle that they're looking at right now. So the updates are kind of all over the place. We're just as kind of out of the loop as you guys are. We don't know, obviously they said they're going to be a police presence at Nancy's house for a while. People have been coming and going. They've been closing it down, opening it back up. That begs the question of cross-contamination, of people just kind of going in and out of that house. And then, all these other agencies are involved as well. So we don't even really know who's in charge. Obviously, the Pima County Sheriff has been handling most of the communications. But at this point, you got to imagine with, how high profile the case is, with Trump being involved and the federal agents, that this is probably being handled mostly by the FBI at this point.
Yeah.
Eric, I was going to ask you, because that second video came out from the Guthrie family over the weekend. I guess it would be the third video, but this one, they're directly talking to the potential captors. Did you guys hear any more about this ransom or what's going on with all of this?
Yeah, we confirmed this morning that no money has been transferred to the Bitcoin account that we verified when we originally got the ransom note.
Sure.
And that today is that deadline. So I believe they have until 5 p.m. today in Arizona time. So we'll see where that goes. But as of right now, obviously Savannah and the family said they're willing to pay. It's just a matter of time as if it was too late or, what the situation is as far as Nancy's condition.
Mm-hmm. And it was interesting to kind of hear these different reports coming out. Obviously, we're all trying to pull at any strings that we can. But, I've seen folks kind of analyzing this latest video from them and even saying the language in it is a little unique and different from the others. Eric, did you see that ransom note yourself? And what stood out to you?
I did see the original ransom note. There's a few of us who get tips sent directly to our emails. I'm one of them folks. So I did read the original one. I don't know, there was nothing in that, I don't know if I should or can say that, but I believe I can. There's nothing in that would indicate any sort of cadence or message back that they want it. In fact, the message said that this would be the only communication. So it seems that communication has opened up with this alleged captor, but we don't, I know the language was weird Savannah used, celebrating her and things like that, but we don't know if that was something the FBI wanted them to say, if the captors wanted them to say that, or if that was just the language she chose.
Yeah, the other thing I thought was weird. Yeah, the other thing I thought was weird is she said, "We hear you," like she was acknowledging something that was said to the family that we don't exactly know what that is. So I guess that's another big kind of clue, question mark in this entire case as well.
Yeah, that was the one sent based off the last ransom note, the legend ransom note that was sent to the local station in Tucson. We did not receive that one.
Okay.
Okay. We got a little time left, so let's switch
Lighten it
gears,
up.
hard turn. Leave it on a good note for folks. What did you think of the Super Bowl halftime show, Eric?
I loved it. It was great. I think it was one of the best of all time. I do not speak Spanish, but I got the vibe. It was really fun. I love Bad Bunny, Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin. I mean, all the celebrities that were just on stage celebrating Latin America, and really at the end of it, celebrating North and South America as a whole with kind of Bad Bunny's message. So yeah, I loved it.
You know who speaks Spanish? Eric, this guy. He understood.
Not.
Or
listen,
kind of.
The Puerto Rican
translation right
is
now.
a little hard. No gracias.
Eric, thank you. We're going to throw the mystery cam up.
Biblioteca.
Yeah, bye. Here's the mystery cam. Get your guesses in. Welcome back. All right, time now 11:45. Our chat is not very active today with mystery cam guesses. We have just a few. Steph Lacey has a guess of Illinois today. I feel like if someone would know the shot, maybe because the bridge is a clue. But I don't think I've ever seen that bridge, so I'm not sure.
I'm going with Linda. She says Minnesota. That would be my guess because it looks cold and frozen.
Yes. And Little Philosophy says, yo, Bella. Yeah, Ty had to switch out and go anchor the noon. He's a busy man today. So Bella's subbing in.
Yay.
I'm so glad you're here.
Good to see you. I'm happy to be here with you.
We're getting one more guess in. Outlaw Dynamo. Albany. Guessing Albany, New York. That would be my neck of the woods. I've been in Albany. I don't recognize the bridge. Let's see. I'll go, you know what? I'll go Outlaw. You're guessing Albany. Sure.
Delaware from AZ Raider.
Do you like that one?
I think I'm still going with Linda with Minnesota.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pull it out to our shot here. And, that's Mona. That's our guest. Sneak peek. Here, we'll go wide. Hi. We're going to talk to Mona, our amazing psychiatrist, here in just a second. Actually, Mona, you want to do the honors?
Sure.
With the mystery cam reveal?
Sure.
Go ahead. It's right there.
Okay.
So we'll see what the mystery cam was today. We'll pop that back up one more time. And
drum roll. Troy, New York.
Okay, it's my home state. I haven't spent a lot of time in Troy, though. But yeah, really cold in New York still, ladies.
I like the weather here better.
Yeah, I agree.
We're good.
Mona, what do you think?
I'm set on Phoenix. We're good.
Yeah,
we're enjoying
the
sun
too, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And it's nice. We're headed kind of for a downturn too.
I know.
Ditching some of these 80s for a minute, which would be incredible.
That'll be nice. Not for our skin, but will be nice.
Yeah. So we're so glad you're back with us. We've had you on a couple times, and we've talked about such a variety of different topics. But today we're focusing on self-love.
Yes.
And how do we do that? How do we start there? I feel like it's difficult for a lot of people.
It is. I think in today's society and time, especially, we're looking at that a lot more. But self-love and self-resilience isn't about just loving yourself and self-care and spa days and bubble baths. It's actually giving yourself some intentional words and messaging every single day. And it could be just like a 60-second pause for you to do that and implement that on a daily basis. So, for example, if you're noticing, especially this is Love Week, right? We're talking about Valentine's Day, with or without your partner. Name anything that you're feeling emotionally, because if it's something that's negative and you're thinking this is really hard, I'm feeling shameful or guilty, that naming in and of itself is a good step. The next is to reframe it. Reframing it in that you're a human, you're allowed to feel those emotions. And then the next step is to essentially tell yourself where you're going to direct yourself. Is the next step going to be, I'm going to feel this, and that's okay. What's my next best journey?
Can you give us an example?
Yeah.
So how would I check in with my emotions? Because a lot of times I'm feeling a lot of different things, right?
And
there's
we're
different
human.
stressors from work. There's different stresses at home.
Yes.
So walk us through, how do we identify?
So you identify it in the sense of, okay, is think of the top emotion that you're feeling. Is it anger? Is it stress? Is it feeling overwhelmed? And then reframing it, like I had stated, well, you're a human being. You're allowed to feel those emotions in the moment. Your partner is making you upset, or work life is not balanced right now. When you're trying to make the decision of what step you're going to take next, that's really where the crux of the emotional support you're going to give yourself is allowing yourself to have some self-compassion in that I need some kindness to myself right now because I'm giving myself way too much of a hard time because I feel shame or guilt or this stress. And what's my next best step? Right now, I'm going to take a moment to just give myself an hour to just do a grounding reset, or scream it out in my car, or, dance it off, or have a discussion with my partner about these boundaries that need to be set.
Yeah. Isabella, anything from you?
No, self-love is the best love. So
Absolutely.
I like to always remind myself of that. Yeah, and I think too, something else I think about is you can't properly love others until you love yourself, I think. So I like that topic. And for those who maybe don't have a partner to talk about those things with, what would your advice be? Like, could you have a conversation with friends? Family?
Absolutely. Knowing that maybe there's a good handful or so of accountability partners that are great for you, that you know are going to be honest with you too, and can be holding you accountable for that self-compassion. Hey, you don't need to be so burdened on yourself right now. Like, practice a little bit more kindness. Let's go out for drinks, or let's go out for that coffee tomorrow morning, because I see that you really need that. That could be your friend, your cousin, your mother, whomever is kind of like your main point of contact, if you will.
I like that. Yeah. And we're opening it up to the chat. You guys, we see you in there, a little philosophy saying self-love for me is going to a restaurant and having a nice meal. What do you think of that, Mona?
I love that. I love that. Why not? And you can do that alone. You don't have to necessarily be with somebody, and practice that compassion for yourself. Sometimes you're doing a reset, enjoying a really nice experience on your own, and it allows you to journal. You can just have your mind free. I don't love having phones or electronics, by the way.
Yeah,
so try
they're
to
very
reset
distracting.
that. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Bring a book with you, or a journal, or just, jot down some thoughts.
What are, if someone's really struggling, let's say in life, right? They don't like their job, things at home aren't going well, or they're not where they thought they would be. Someone who's really down on themselves, can't find a positive. Where do you start? What are some of those traits that you tell someone, well, think about this and how you behaved in this type of situation, or whatever quality it took for you to get through this? Like, how do you help guide somebody to find that positivity if they absolutely cannot?
That's a really, really hard navigation journey, right? Because there's so many different layers to it. So what we tend to do is we write down some of the things that they're going through. And then we kind of come to a conclusion a lot of times that sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's circumstantial, but what brought you there? What took you into that mindset, that moment, choosing maybe the bad partners? Is there an attachment issue there? Is it related to anxiety? Is it related to you crave unpredictability? And so that's why you're joining certain circumstances that are going to lead to those emotions. So kind of framing it at that, and then we dial in on a lot of those emotions that come with it and try to solve from there.
Interesting. Yeah, it's difficult, right? I mean, we're humans. There's so many different layers and emotions and different factors that impact all of that. Right. But I just want to wrap it up with reminding everybody you're local.
Yes.
So you're based right here in Scottsdale, in the Valley. And you offer a wide variety of services. And I was looking on your website, and one of those is a 90-minute psychiatric needs assessment. So that's where you take that time and kind of sort through what issues someone needs. So if they need your support, how do they find you?
They can find me online, monahaminimd.com. I also am often having events with my DJ alter ego, Dr. V. I have one upcoming on Sunday that's more of like Galentine's, bring your friends at the Deuce, and it's a wellness day, and I'll be doing my sonic immersion that day, which is not your typical type of meditation.
Oh, cool. But maybe it takes someone trying something new to tap into those feelings that they can't figure out.
Dancing, having a good time.
Really, it's another form of self-compassion, self-care. That's what builds resilience over time.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank
Mona,
you so
always good
much.
having you. Yeah, we appreciate your time.
Having me again.
I love that topic.
Yeah, absolutely. Excuse me with these buttons today. There we go. This one, it's called Ron.
Oh, okay. Well,
all right.
Ron's not here. It's you and I.
It's you and I. So we're just going to end it with Valentine's Day coming up. Maybe you want to take your loved one to dinner.
Yeah.
Right?
Chocolate strawberries.
Oh, that would be good too. But if you're in for dinner and wine, Benihana is running some Valentine's Day specials. Take a look. Dinner and a show. Can you guys hear those noises? You know what that sound is? It's Chef Omar flipping the spatulas here. Wow. Okay, you are magical. I cannot do that with my spatula at home, Chef.
Hey, it's just a lot of training. Hey, we need you guys. We need you. Hey, you guys come in, we'll train you.
How long have you trained to be this incredible chef that you are?
The training at Benihana, anywhere between between 2 to 3 months. Any longer, you got to go. Just kidding, guys.
If you're not quick on your feet, that's it. You're out the door. What other magic tricks you got?
Oh, definitely. Here, we can do our volcano as well right here, guys.
Ooh, love some volcano magic, right? Getting it hot and spicy just in time for Valentine's Day.
Right? Yes, wonderful.
So here we go. We're lighting that volcano, you guys. Getting things spicy, that's for sure here this morning.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Chef, walk us through some of the Valentine's Day specials that you guys are featuring here at Benihana.
We have a wonderful Valentine's Day special, let me tell you. We are having our Chateaubriand 8-ounce center cut tenderloin filet.
That is beautiful.
Oh, yes, very wonderful. Accompanied with our cold water lobster tail, and all of that comes with our appetizer vegetables, our zucchini, onion, and also our appetizer shrimp. Very yummy, guys, very yummy. Also, little mushrooms on the side with the Chateau. Very good choice. Come on and visit us down, guys. Come on and visit us down. Until the 16th, we got this Valentine's Day special going on.
Well, and what, is this all one dinner? So is this
going to be one shareable dinner as well. And we also offer our sweet and spicy margaritas as well. You want to spice up the night a little bit, you can get the Dom Perignon bottle as well, right? At $350. Hey, if you got the taste, right? If you got the taste.
And then you have something else here on the grill. What is that there?
Wonderful cold water lobster butter as well. It is going to be accompanied with our Valentine's Day special, everybody, as well. Very yummy, very yummy. So all of this is going to be our shareable dinner that we do offer for Valentine's Day all the way up until the 16th.
That's a pretty generous steak. What is that? What size?
This is going to be our 8-ounce Chateaubriand center cut tenderloin, guys. Very yummy and very shareable, right? Very shareable. I mean, depending on how hungry you are, right? But we can always add on a little extra.
All right. I'm a girl that loves carbs, though. So are we doing the rice and noodles as well?
Definitely.
What else?
We can also do chicken fried rice. We got noodles, anything you guys like, right? We can do girl dinners too, right? We got the girl dinners.
And a good Galentine's dinner for sure. And we're also potentially getting a bottle of Chateaubriand too.
Oh yes, our bottle of Don Perrier over here as well, guys. Oh yes, very wonderful.
Yeah, bring that in, Scott. Yeah. Wait, what's going on with this bottle here?
Oh yes, it is going to be a part of the Valentine's Day special. If you wanted to add on the Don Perignon, it'll be $350. It's